So this section is 3.4, and it's basically introducing slope. So take a look. We're on page 199, and I'm looking at three graphs. So this graph here, A, shows a graph where the slope is decreasing. This is a decreasing slope. Okay. We read graphs, by the way, from left to right. So we always start from the left of the graph and read it. So as I'm reading the graph, I see that the graph is going down. So this is called a negative slope. If we look at the next graph, when we read from left to right, the line is going up, so we call that a positive slope. And then when we look at the next graph, we see a graph reading from left to right where it doesn't increase or decrease, so it has zero slope. So if we were to look at some real life situations, like the distance traveled by you if you are walking at a constant rate, well, that would be either A, B, or C. Or the temperature in your freezer, okay? Or the value of a laptop computer after it is purchased. So maybe the value of a laptop, probably this one. You buy it for $1,000, and then as you have used it, it decreases. So finally, you have no value after a while. The temperature in your freezer doesn't change. It stays the same temperature all the time. Okay, it stays the same temperature. Or the distance traveled by you if you are walking at a constant rate. Well, as you're walking for more and more distance, it's increasing because you're walking further and further away from a certain point. So here it is. This one is increasing, and this one is the temperature in your refrigerator, your freezer. So those are some life examples. So of that. And then as we go through, these are the words that will be coming up that are going to be new to you, that are new vocabulary. Like, what does rise mean? Run, slope, positive slope, negative slope, zero slope. We just did those. Slope is a rate at which you're going at a certain speed, okay? Or how it's increasing or decreasing. Undefined slope, we've talked about that a little bit. And then rate of change, we've also talked about for a little bit. So if you go to the next page of your book, you see these two graphs, okay? And notice this is kind of like a stairway, is what we're looking at. So as we are going up the steps, we're going to go up 6 inches and to the right 12 inches. Up 6 inches to the right 12 inches. Up 6 inches to the right 12 inches. Up 6 inches to the right 12 inches. And so if we were to connect all these points, we could see that we did these types of words, rise and run. So rise is how much you move up, and run is how much you go to the right or the left. And again, rise should be defined as going up or going down, and run is your movement from left or to right. So that's what's happening here. We're actually going up and we're going to the right. So from this point to this point, we went to the right 12 inches, which is the run, and then we went up 6 inches, which is the rise. So we run 12, rise 6. Run 12, rise 6. Run 12, rise 6. And so these are definitions of what rise and run mean. Okay, so recognizing positive, negative, zero, and undefined slope. These are the four cases of a linear line. So if you're looking at the first graph, we call this a positive slope because reading it from left to right, it's going up. So that means that your slope, which we call m, will be greater than 0 or positive, basically. Same thing, negative slope. As we start from the left and go to the right, we can see that we're going down. And so this is a negative slope where m is less than 0. And then if we have a zero slope, that means we have a horizontal line. That means that we don't have an increase or decrease. And so m is equal to 0. And so the rise over the run will equal 0 because we don't rise at all, and we don't, well, all we do is run. And then the last one is undefined slope because all we do is rise or in one direction. We never run in any direction on this particular line. And so run happens to be 0. And so if you notice, run is in the denominator of our particular fraction, rise over run, and you cannot have 0 in the denominator. So that's the reason why it's undefined. Over here, though, the rise is 0, but the run is not, because we keep running in the positive infinity direction. So 0 divided by a number would give you 0. So these are the basics to what slope is about and what we're going to get further into. But again, make sure you are aware of what rise, run, slope, positive, negative, 0, and undefined slope mean.